Hello and welcome to Dave the Soup Betting. Well, last week's selection, Florida Dreams, ran okay and it got the place money for us at 12 to 1. That was the only selection for that day. Now, I did mention last week one anti-post for the Grand National, Kandu Kid at 25 to 1, and it ran last week over 2 mile 4 at Newbury. Here's a few of its fences. So, here is the Kandu Kid, the grey horse in the yellow and blue stripes. So they all run to the first fence, a bit like the Grand National. They've gone down a bit quicker and he's up there in 5th, 6th position. So we come to the second fence. There he is, the grey, and jumps that very nicely. Third fence, getting a good view of all the fences, jumps that very boldly. Fourth fence, there he is, again, jumps that well. Fifth fence, good stride into the fence, jump well. Sixth, water jump, jumps well. Seventh fence, again jumps well. Eighth, jumps well again. Ninth, another good jump. 10th fence, here he is. Jumped that well, skipped over it nicely. 11th, this is a big fence. Jumped that well. 12th, again jumps well. And what he's done here, he's dropped him to the rear. He's not doing anything on the horse, he just dropped him to the rear. So we're approaching the 13th fence, and here he is. Just lobbing along, letting him doing what he wants. Just jump the fence, see plenty of the fence. Jumps that boldly. And he's just riding the horse, not pushing it or anything. Just letting him go. 14th. Very bold at that fence, very bold. 15th. Jumped that, I just skipped over that nicely. He's just not doing much with the horse at all. 16th. Just lets him jump, and then he's out of the picture. Well, as you can see, not a lot of enthusiasm there from the jockey. It took every fence deliberately. I won't say it was schooled or that they weren't trying. That would be against the rules of racing. But I was very, very happy about that run over what is a totally inadequate trip for the horse. So, on to today, or should I say tomorrow? I'm actually recording this on a Friday. So, racing for Saturday, the 8th of March. I've got 2 selections. The first one is in the 245 at Wolverhampton. Here's the race. In the 245 at Wolverhampton, it's the Lincoln Trial Handicap. We've got a fifth the odds, the first 4. And this is what it looks like. So what I want to show you is a replay of a horse that ran last time. As you can see, it's a Lincoln trial race, but a horse that ran last time. Now, I did search high and low for a replay of this horse's last run, which was at Kempton. It wasn't available on At the Races. It wasn't available on Sporting Life. And I'd like to give a shout out to Les, who lent me his logging on details for Racing TV. So here's my selections last run. So we're at the stalls, and it's kind of blue and white colours. Newcastle colours. It's supposed to be navy blue and pale blue, but it looks. Here he is in the stripes. It's almost a Newcastle strip. And there he is, next to last. He rides a funny race on this, he really does. So now he's dropped it further back for whatever reason, I don't know. So he's gone to the rail. You can just see we're approaching the bend, and he's gone to the rail next to last. Coming round the bend, and you can clearly see him there on the rail. And now we're coming into the straight, and he's moved off the rail, so now he's 3 off the rail. Coming round the bend. It looks like he's going to come wide, follow this horse through maybe, come down the centre of the track. But what does this genius do? He lets this one come across him, and then he kind of goes between horses. He's not the most stylish rider in the race. He's a £3 apprentice. And then he's got to go inside of horses. So he goes inside of horses. He stays on under hands and heels. He's just pushing it. He gives it a slap there. The horse is running on. But the horse can't compensate for bad jockeyship. And it stays on. He's catching this one hand over fist. And he doesn't actually get third. He comes 4th. Not a great ride by a long shot from the apprentice there. Got a different jockey on this time in Joe Leavitt, who's claiming 3. I think that race, the jockey, he was on the inside towards the rear, then he moved it out on the outside, then he kind of went inside horses. I think the race ran away from him, and his timing was a bit of a mess, to be honest. Now we've got horses shorter in the betting. We've got Symbol of Light. That's drawn 10. No. You don't want a double figure draw over this extended mile at Wolverhampton. And we've also got Final Voyage, who I've actually selected before. That's been running at Dundalk. It's drawn 13. It's not that you can't win from those draws. It's just makes it a lot more difficult. So very, very happy to put Local Hero out. I've actually snaffled a bit of 10-1 on this. At 8-1, a 50 odds for 4 places with 365. Now, my second selection. I do like horses, course and distance winners, and horses that either win or get placed in a race and then are running in the same race the following year. Now, this horse did run in the same race last year. It didn't win, it didn't get placed. But let's have a look at the run. The same race last year. The horse I'm interested in is in 2nd place, coming to the 3rd from last fence. So we're coming. He's gone from 3 or 4 lengths behind. He's drawing alongside the leader, which is the favourite. He jumps that, and he starts to take up the lead. He's absolutely pulling a tank. He's gone past now. We come to the second last. Jumps like a stag, but he just jumped left. That one falls. The favourite falls. And he's a solid, 15 length clear. So he's just nudging the horse out. You can't see the others unless you've got a pair of binoculars. Comes to the last fence. Now, this is where your money goes up in the air and has to land safely on the other side to collect. And the saddle slips. He jumps okay, makes a bit of a mistake. The saddle slips, the jockey's off. And here he is, kissing the turf. And he's not happy one bit. Look at this. Watch, boom. Throws his whip down in disgust. Race at his mercy. Interested in the 2-mile chase at Hereford. We've only got 5 runners. We've got Hypotenus, which has never won a chase in 6 attempts. But since it's been in England, over from Ireland, it's run twice at Sandown, and each time it's gone off like a scalded cat, led clear before 3rd, gradually weakened. It was the same last time in the 4-runner race, but it's only beaten 5 3/4 length, no extra, and lost 2nd running. Not quite been going home, But that's Sandown, a very stiff track. Today we're at Hereford, a lot of easier track. Western General. Let me show you about Western. Let me show you something about Western. And I don't very often bother with the race card or the comments, but Western General has got this warning from Timeform. Her horse noted in negative terms on its previous outing by a Timeform race reporter on account of doubts about the strength or reliability of the form. So do you want to play? Timeform have been at it a lot longer than I have. That's 5-2. Then we've got Willie the Builder, Dan Skelton. The thing is, it's never, ever jumped a fence, and they're putting it straight in an handicap. But it was a decent hurdler, and we're straight in an handicap. It could be off a very, very good mark. We don't know. And then we've got Mackenberg. Who's done well in chases. 5 out of 16 wins. We'll not bother with the places so much because only 5 runners. And you got Formosa, who's a course and distance winner. Here. Wasn't a very good race. It was a very weak race. Rin and Running ran on. He beat one horse rated in triple figures at 106. The rest of them were rated in the 90s or lower. Now, if you look at today's race, we've got a couple of youngsters in, 6 years old. So compared to last year, when technically it's an easier race this year, technically. But if you look at last year, they were all older, 8 and 9 year olds, and even a 10-year-old were in it. So we've got less exposed horses today. But I'll have Mackenberg. I'm going to play each way because we've got a couple of youngsters in. But at 13-2 in a 5-horse race, we'll play each way Mackenberg. Well, as you can see, I mean, all he got to do was jump. And it jumped okay, a little bit awkward. But the saddle slipped. The jockey wasn't too happy, was he? Maybe they'll make amends on Saturday. It's £11 lower than last year. Now, on paper, this looks an easier race. But last year, it's against 8 and 9 year olds, a bit more exposed. And this time, we're against younger, up-and-coming horses. The one of Dan Skelton's straight into a handicap chase. It could be off a really good mark. We'll not know until tomorrow. But I'm quite happy. They have reached for the cheek pieces for it to stop the horse from jumping left. It did that on its penultimate race at Doncaster as well. It did get pulled up at Wetherby. But very, very soft ground. Not really suitable. 13-2. Mackenberg. 5 runners. 6.5-1. We'll go each way. We'll go each way with a couple of newcomers. You know, it is possible that one of them might beat it. But it doesn't mind. It tucked it in there last year. It tucked it in behind the leader and then took it up 3 out. Should have won doing handstands, to be honest. Now, I'm going to give a bit of a mention out to the 320 race at Wolverhampton. There's a horse running, Witch Hunter. Last year, I never actually tipped it last year, but I know a lot of YouTubers did tip it last year. It just never wins. It is a nice race. It's a listed race. Last year, it basically won the Hungerford Group 2 race. It had Jamie Spencer on, and I think it had a little bit too far back, and it lost by a nose. It could win doing handstands. It's got Jabara to beat. That's the favourite. That came second in the Falmouth, a race for fillies and mares. But that's only won two listed races last year for fillies. One at Carlisle and one at Musselburgh. They weren't great races. Witch Hunter if it ran to the form of the Hungerford, could beat these doing handstands. But the horse, and Jamie Spencer on it, they've got more seconds than a Rolex watch. So we're not going to tip it. But I'm going to watch the race. It's a very, very interesting listed race. Finally, before I go, a big shout out to everybody on Thursday night who played the poker tournament, the Grandad's, as they call it affectionately, Memorial Trophy in memory of Steve Legdon, a poker player from Sheffield who passed away in January. A big shout out to Osh Vaughan and the legendary Barry Neville for organising the tournament, which raised a lot of money in prize money and also over £1,000 in charitable donations. And a shout out to the casino, the Grosvenor in Sheffield, for not charging a fee for entering the tournament and letting them run the raffle. A big night for everyone, very enjoyable for everyone by all accounts. I couldn't make it, I got a prior engagement, I was a bit gutted, but you can't move someone's birthday, can you? Anyway, this is Dave the Sue, hoping for yet another profitable Saturday. Bye for now.